me, no problem. You mind just swapping it? That's great. All right, we'd like to welcome Texas here. Just a couple notes on formalities before we get started. Again, a reminder: if we can silence all our cell phones right now during the press conference. Also, for those in the room, and also on Zoom, if you can provide your name and media affiliation, raise your hand in the room. We'll get you a microphone to address those at the podium here. Those on Zoom, if you can use your raise hand function, as time permits, we'll try to get to you. And then, just again, a note on formalities: we'll take an opening statement from Coach Schaefer here. Then open it up to our student athletes. Then we'll dismiss them, and then we can take questions for Coach Schaefer from there. So with that, Coach, if you have an opening statement for us.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay. I've not seen a sheet. Ooh, man. It's a great day to be a Longhorn, y'all. Just so proud of this team. They just won their 29th game. 14 in a row. And all they do is just work. They just play hard. I mean, they just play hard. They get through adversity. We had obviously some tremendous adversity today with Rory getting in foul trouble, and these two right here stepped up like pros, like they are, and got us. Not only did they kind of manage it, but we actually had a lead. Actually, I think y'all, Danny, were we down 7? 5, and we were up 2 at half, and these two just really kind of kept us in it, and we actually were up 2 then when we came in at half. So. Again, it just takes we are literally we are a team, y'all. We've been that way all year. We have 3 or 4 kids that average about anywhere from 12 to 10 points, but we also have kids that can go off for 17 or 27. And so, boy, I thought she carried us tonight when we really needed it. Not only being the point guard, but scoring for us. Ebo, man, it was physical down there, y'all. And she gets 8 and 9. And then, of course, Aaliyah made some big shots for us. She's 4 out of 8 from the field and really stayed after Taylor. Just really stayed after her. She was having a hard time with her. I know she made a couple on us late, and we held them to 4 less threes than they averaged, 4.5 less threes than they average. We talked about that. We said, hey, we can knock those down. That's just more points that we're scoring because they like to score and they're good at it. And I thought the press bothered us. I was concerned about that a little bit. But, the block that Amo made at the end, now look, that's a freshman that just missed a layup to put you up 3. And she comes back down the other end and makes a heck of a play defensively. We make 2 big defensive plays to win the game. And it wasn't easy, y'all. First of all, I want to congratulate Kevin and his team. Ohio State is a tremendous basketball. They're Big Ten champions. We just beat another champion. And again, these kids, they don't care who's in front of them. They don't care what the number is. They don't care anything. And we talk about it all the time. March doesn't care either. March doesn't care what you're ranked. March doesn't care how you finished in your conference. They don't care. It doesn't care. You got to go play the game. And we've been we've been on the flip side of the 6-2 a year ago. We were the 6 playing the 2. So our kids knew. But this is a gutty win for our bunch. I couldn't be more proud of them, happy for them, but it took everybody in the room. And again, these 2 getting us through. But then again, Rory makes a big shot to get us back up 3 and then makes 2 big free throws to get it back to 3. You got to have players that can make plays, y'all. It's a whole lot easier coaching when you got that. And we made some plays today and, again, beat a heck of a basketball team.
Great. Thank you, Coach. We'll open up to student-athlete questions now. Again, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Schaefer, you want to get started?
Schaefer Murray, Washington Sports Network. Joanne, 17 points today. Just talk about how what it feels like to step up for your team in a big game like this?
It doesn't feel different than maybe not scoring a lot of points in the game. Like, I'm always doing something that's going to help us win the game. And today I had to get some buckets for our team when we needed them, and that's what I had to do. And I did my best, and thank God it went through the hoop, so.
Go ahead in the front. And then
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Aaliyah, I know Joe's not going to brag on herself, but could you talk a little bit about just what her leadership means to this team and her being able to step up in the second quarter the way she did?
I think it's really important. You go on a team where you don't have a lot of seniors, and I know it's for them, but all of them are pretty quiet. But like when Joe says something, it's a statement. You don't have a choice but to listen. Like if she opens her mouth, everybody goes. So her having a good day is like, I don't know. Like it's important for us. Her energy that she brings, like she's very passionate. Like she's gonna play to the end. She's gonna give you her best. Doesn't matter what you're doing. She's gonna give 1,000%. And I just feel like today she was on. And when you're on, why not give her the ball? So.
go ahead.
Amber Dodd, the Spokesman Review. Can you guys just talk me through that last defensive possession that you guys executed impeccably?
Switch everything.
I really didn't even see the block, so you have to walk me through it. I didn't see it. I was on the opposite side, just trying not to get screened because I knew I knew 24 wanted to shoot the three, so I was not even paying attention to the block, honestly. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, no. So we were boxing out on the backside, and I'm glad that Amo, blocked that shot. Obviously, it was a big-time block, especially after missing the layup. I'm glad, even as a freshman, she could keep her head in it. That was extremely important. And we all told her how much that meant for our team and for the win.
We'll check in on Zoom now. Terry Middleton, if you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hi. First of all, congratulations on the win. This question is for Lauren. Lauren, going into this game, your play was going to be ultra important on the outcome of this game. Can you talk about how did you get locked into knowing what your responsibilities were for this game?
I think just working every day in practice. This week, obviously, we've had a lot of time to, work on Ohio State and how they would guard. And even if I'm not, even if I'm getting double teamed or whatever the case might be, my goal is to open things up for the team, and whether that's scoring or rebounding or setting a good screen to get others open, I just always want to do what I can do to help us win. And I think that's my main goal going to any game. It doesn't matter how many points I score, how many rebounds I get, I just want to secure the win.
We'll head back into the room now. Go ahead.
Dave Nichols from the Spokesman Review. Joe, I want to go back to the second quarter. Ohio State gets it to 1 or 2. You hit back-to-back buckets, kind of turned your teammates and screamed. What were you telling them at that point?
Well, I was just saying get downhill. They were having trouble guarding me off the bounce. And I hit 2 back-to-back jump shots. She was kind of sagging off of me, and that's my shot. Coach tells me every single day, that's my shot. If I can get to the pull-up, that's my shot. And I just rose up and shot it, and it went in.
At some point as a senior, did you feel like it was your responsibility to kind of will your team here?
I wouldn't say, I don't think like that. I'm just making plays for my team. Just making plays, trying to do everything I can to get the win. I guess in hindsight you can say, yeah, it's my responsibility because I'm a senior, but like in the game, in the moment, I'm just making plays. That's it.
Go in the back.
Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. Joe, you mentioned that final possession, but guarding Mikesell the entire night, at one point the tracking data showed she hadn't even gotten off a shot when you were matched up with her. What kind of challenge is that defensively?
Oh, man, that's just really my mindset going into every game. Like, it just really centers me when I know I can perform defensively. I just went into the game saying that 24, she needs to have lower than her average because her and 4, they get the team going. They're their offense. They're what make the team get their wins. And ultimately, if I could stop 24 from, getting her, I think she averaged on the season 18 points per game. If I can get her maybe 10, maybe 12 points in this game, then I knew we would have a good chance to win.
Any more questions for our student athletes? Okay, student athletes, thank you. You can be excused to go back to the locker room. We'll take questions now for Coach Schaefer. Thank you. And we'll start in the room here. We can get up mics to up front, and then we see a couple other hands here. Go ahead.
Hey, Vic, over here. Lindsay from USA Today. Those might be like the two biggest baskets that Rory's ever scored. And then obviously she was 2 for 2 from the line. But her defense on the final possession took Ohio State, it felt like forever to get up the floor. Is that just what you expect of her? Did you tell her that? And I also wondered, you guys shared a long embrace when she got knocked out on that foul. What were you saying to her during that time?
Well, she was a little bit, it was a pretty hard foul. She just needed a minute. And I just telling her, hey, you're good. You're going to make 2 free throws. You're going to be up 3. And then we talked about in the timeout, we really, something we talk about all the time is turning the ball. When somebody's got to bring the ball up, if you can turn the ball 3 or 4 times, they're going to run out of time.
Zigzag drill?
Yeah, well, we call it defense on the floor. But the way we do it at Texas is way different than the way I watch in high school when I go in these gyms and watch them do zigzag drill. But the bottom line is you got to get your nose on the ball in order to turn the ball. And when you do, then the ball's got to be turned. And, we knew they were going to want to try to hang that side of the floor and maybe get something on the backside in what we call hammer. And, she turned the ball. And, we knew we had a foul to give, but I'm not a big foul to give guy. That's when things happen that are crazy. So we just wanted to, and you know what, there's probably nobody else in the country better at turning the ball than Rory Harmon. And she did a tremendous job turning the ball, and then at the end of the day, they just run out of time. So that was the plan there. Again, the kid, I think, was disappointed in being in foul trouble, and comes back and makes that shot she makes to put us back up 3 is as big as there is, and then makes 2 big free throws. And again, the kid wants to be in the moment. I mean, there's just not a moment too big for her. She's done it since day one. She's just different in a really special way. And, all these kids, man, they're ultimate competitors. I mean, I say this all the time, unless you come to our practice, you have no idea what our kids do. Like, y'all just think they show up and okay, let's do it this way. This is their life. They live this every day. Like, this is how they work every day, y'all. Like, we don't go, oh, let's walk through this today, or we're going to go half speed here, but we'll go full speed in the game. Like, you can't coach that way, and we don't. But so what I'm telling you is, as hard as our kids play, that's what they do every day in practice, so that I could tell you today, our kids were tired of practicing. They're ready to play a game. I mean, they're ready to do something else besides practice. And I was ready for them to do that as well, because, they're like chomping at the bit to go play. So, I felt I was in a good spot. I thought they were going to play well. I knew Ohio State was really good, y'all. I mean, I've seen enough film that I'm blurry-eyed. I'm sick of looking at film of them. But they're good, so.
Question up front.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Vic, after the missed layup in that timeout, was there a message for Aaliyah during that timeout, and what was your thoughts on how she snapped back and responded on the defensive end?
Yeah, we just talked about, okay, hey, this is how we like it. When it gets hard, when it gets tough, when it just really gets difficult, it's about how we like it at Texas. And we just told her, hey, no worries. Let's go get a stop. They're going to have to foul us. Go make some free throws. And so that's all we talked about. We talk all the time in timeouts about stop, score, stop, or score, stop, score, depending on the situation. So that's all we talked about. We weren't going to harp on it. I mean, I'll take her 99 more times out of 100, and she's going to make 99 of those layups. It just didn't make it that one. So no big deal. It's no problem. And so we went out and, we talked about getting a stop. And, boy, she made a big play, didn't she? I mean, that's a big play, y'all. Big play by a freshman, going up there and putting a hand on that ball and blocking it. Kid never got it out of her hand.
Your thoughts on Jo and just what she gave y'all as a senior leader and on the court?
Again, for people in the room, all Jo wants to do is win. Like, she doesn't care about anything. Like, if she scored 2 points tonight, she'd be thrilled. She just wants to win. I mean, I've only had her 2 years, but man, what a wonderful young lady who plays the game the way I think it should be played. She's unselfish. Again, she's a mechanical engineering major, 375, kid's going to be a winner in life when basketball's over. But she's just a winner. She's unselfish and just the ultimate competitor. Never gets down, never hangs her head, never has a negative juice in her body. And I'm going to tell you something, that's not common in today's world, much less in today's athletics. But that's Joanne Allen Taylor.
Go ahead.
Vic, congrats on the win.
Thank
Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. You just talked about Rory's ability to turn the ball. Yesterday, you went really in depth about her motor, kind of how that separates her. But I'm curious what it takes for a true freshman to be that effective on the defensive end.
I just think it's a desire. It's something that, it's been important to her whole life. Her dad instilled it in her when she was a young child. And I just think she knows the importance of it. And so for her, it's just everyday life. You come to our practice tomorrow, we go defense on the floor, she'll be the first one out, and she'll be busting it. It's just how, we have a saying at Texas, it's not what we do, but how we do it that separates us from the rest of the country. And with her, she lives it. Every day she lives it on the floor. And so I just think that, again, it's just habits, y'all. That's all we're doing as coaches. We teach habits. And for this group, this is their habits. I mean, this group is really special, y'all. Been doing it a long time, and these kids, what they've achieved and what they continue to do day in and day out, it's really fun for me to be a part of.
We have time for one last question in the back.
Kevin Pelton, ESPN.com. Given everything you talked about Rory bringing to the table, how difficult was it to sit her down when she picked up that second foul, and then again in the fourth quarter when she got to 4?
Did you say how good was it?
Well, how difficult was it to sit?
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was difficult. I mean, it's not like I didn't think about putting her back in, but we were not only kind of hanging, but we were actually building, getting back in the game, and we ended up taking the lead at half, and so we got through it. And look, this isn't the first time this has happened, and Joe steadies us. I recruited Joe a long time ago to be a point guard. She's now playing the 2 for me at Texas, but I recruited her a long time ago out of high school to be a point guard. So she's got that mentality. She's so smart. She knows how to run stuff, and so it was. It's nice to have a player like this, mature, calm, steady, unflappable. She's just a steady presence, and it's nice to have that. Again, I didn't want to take when we took her out. There was 6 or 7 on the clock in the fourth quarter, and then I looked up and there was 4:24, and I said, "Well, this is it. We got to go for it right here." And we put her back in. So, she's in so many plays. And think about it. You saw her tonight. She's in so many plays, but she's in every play from baseline to baseline because she's picking up the ball. She's in every play. So there's going to be some things happen. She hadn't been in foul trouble in a long time, but she was tonight.
We do have time for one more quick one. Yeah.
Thank you, Vic. Just a quick follow-up about Rory. Obviously, we see her on the court. She's like 100 miles an hour all the time. I'm curious, how do you describe her away from the court? She's pretty, she's still pretty even keel. She's pretty, I wouldn't say she walks fast like me, but nobody does. She doesn't, let's just say that on the floor, she's a little different from a speed factor, but all these kids have such tremendous personalities, and they're fun to be around, and I tell you, they're playing for each other right now. They really enjoy playing for each other. They love each other. They're doing a good job of they've done a great job of building that chemistry with one another. It's not always been that way, but this is something that's evolved over the course of the season, and their chemistry is really, I think, what's allowed them to do what they've done, and so they enjoy playing with each other. They feed off of each other. They enjoy each other's success, and that's what you want to see when you're a coach. You want kids to care about what their teammates are doing. And I think our team cares about each other, and sometimes that's a unique deal in athletics. You know, there can be some jealousy and things like that, but not with this group. This is a really special group.
Coach Schaefer, thank you for your time.
Hey, appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.